Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to our Kabbalat Shabbat service at Temple Beth Tikvah. It's a pleasure to have you with us today in person and online. And also, if you are online, you don't know that everybody here who came in person is actually holding a rose, or a rose is just next to them, because it is Shabbat just after Tu B'Av, after the Jewish holiday of love. And so we honor all of you with roses, be it in person, and for those who join us online, consider yourselves being given this rose, a virtual rose, which might be even better because it has no thorns. So there's always a win. And continuing on this Shabbat journey, on a Shabbat in the middle of summer, we come to the lighting of Shabbat candles on page 120. And I think it's only appropriate to honor our birthday girl with the lighting of Shabbat candles. Laila, we're talking about you. Happy birthday, Yom Choledet Sameach.
It does. It'll work. It'll work. Go ahead. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom and happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I go with one foot and down with the other. This is my
Well, that's the smart way to do it.
So our tradition tells us that from the 15th of Av, the strongest sunshine in Israel has passed, and we're slowly moving towards autumn, towards fall, towards high holidays. It seems like we have some catching up to do here in Southern California, so we should get going with the passage of time, with Shabbatot that bring us to this high holiday season. And our next psalm, Lechun Ranana, on page 130, is this invitation to get going towards holy times.
Lechu neranana l'Adonai nari aletzur yishenu nekadma fanav betoda bizmirot nari alo nekadma fanav
rabbis of Tzfat in the 16th century were mystics, and they came up with the ceremony of Kabbalat Shabbat, the ceremony that includes Lecha U'Neranena and Lecha Dodi, to give us an opportunity to reflect on the week that has passed. Traditionally, 6 psalms were recited or sung during this service to think of the 6 days of the week, to think of this working week which, like a rose, has petals and has thorns. And so, as we welcome Shabbat's presence with the words of Lecha Dodi, I encourage you to think about this week. Think about its petals that you want to keep, like this beautiful rose. And think about perhaps some thorns in your life that you could do without this Shabbat. We turn to Lecha Dodi on page 138.
Lecha Dodi likrat kahala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kahala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Yishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, Hashem letiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kahala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kahala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki hi mekor haberacha. Merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kahala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kahala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki va'orech kumi ori. Uri, uri, sheher daberi, kevod Adonai alaych nigda. Lecha Dodi likrat kahala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kahala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lo tevoshi ve'lo tikami, ma tishtochachi u'ma tehemi. Bach yechesu עניי עמי, ונבנתה עירת הילה. lecha Dodi לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. lecha Dodi לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, lecha Dodi לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. lecha Dodi
So if you're here in the sanctuary, you will see that for a while, the youngest participant in our service has hid himself behind one of the chairs with a rose just up like this, so you could only see the rose. And I think that sometimes we have a sense that the presence of Shabbat is very much hidden. But after this beautiful Lechadodi, the presence of Shabbat, and our youngest participant is visible even though he tries desperately to hide himself. And so we'll celebrate Shabbat in its sometimes hidden, sometimes revealed nature with the words of Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat on page 140.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינון, צדיק כתמר יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה, שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו, עוד ינובון בשיבה, דשנים ורעננים יהיו, להגיד כי ישר אדוני, צורי ולא הבלעת בו.
Please turn to Chatzi Kaddish on page 144.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעמדי ברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון ובימיכון ובחייתך בית ישראל, בהגנה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעלמי המאיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי תקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בהמה ואמרו אמן.
Please stand in body or spirit as we call each other to prayer with the words of Baruch Hu on page 146.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night. rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch Ata Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim.
Amen.
We come to the blessing that thanks for God's eternal love, the love that we feel when we think of the love of those who love us and who we love back.
Ahavat olam, Bet Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta, Otanu limadta. Akein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu u'v'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem nege yomam v'layla nege yomam v'layla ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
ואהבת
את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, Emet, Adonai Elohechem, Emet.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Mi chamocha, Bailim Adonai. Mi kamocha, Nedar bakodesh. Nora tehilot, oseh Malchutecha ra'u banecha boker ayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam. Ze Eli anu va'ameru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
Through trials and tribulations of life, we search for shelter, for places, for moments where we can be safe. More often than not, the shelter is not found in a place or time, but in a beloved person, be it a partner, a family member, or a friend. As we come to Hashkivenu, let us think about our shelters and be thankful for them. Hashkivenu on page 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom. V'ha'amidenu malkeinu lechayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
In life, we find shelter in others, but this shelter is most present in holy moments that we share with them. And no moment in the Jewish calendar, in the Jewish week, is holier than Shabbat. So let's praise Shabbat and its ability to lift us up with the words of Veshamru on page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. איי 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 ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. איי 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 איי
Please turn to the words of Amidah on page 164. Let us stand in body or spirit.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי אגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
We direct to God diverse requests. Our conversations differ, but there's a wish we all share. A wish for peace in our hearts, in our families, in our community, in our country, in the world. Let's unite our voices Praying for Peace on page 180, where we say, Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Uyaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Uyaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Uyaseh Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, amen. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Uyaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, amen.
Even on Shabbat, the day on which we're not allowed to do work, we're not allowed to change things, we're not allowed to request for the world to be different, we still ask for one particular blessing, one particular thing that God can help us with. We ask for healing of our loved ones. We ask for healing of the body. We ask for the healing of the soul. This week, as Temple Beth Tikvah, we ask for healing for Ellen Boyarsky, Andrea Goldberg, Anita Muchnikov, Barbara Bevins, Barry Pesner, Chuck Gladstein, Dale Scully, David Trachtman, Ed Schechter, Elaine Solomon, Emmanuel Ben Naomi, Evelyn Ma, Florence Nagler, Gary Stoffen, Greg Weitzman, Jen Perkins, Jerry Harmon, Joan Neer, Lois Sussman, Marlene Spiegel, Michael Goldberg, Michael Hennig, Minnie Reuven, Paul Deland, Peter Dernbach, Sharon Lee, Shirley Zeidman, Susan Grosser, Tammy Moore, Zach Pesner, and Rufi Hani. If you have any names that you would like to add, please add them by mentioning them out loud or by adding them in our Zoom chat. Have we got any names on Zoom?
Marlene Pfaff, John Avery, Sheila Benson, Franciera, Christopher Gonzalez, Juan Gutierrez Sr., Annette Gautainer, Marla Kazan, Megan Firestone, Jeanne, Paul, and Rob Pfaff, and Lucy Gagnon.
Let's pray for their healing with the words of Mishaberach Lecholim on page 371.
May the source of strength אשר ברך אמותינו מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
What's in a name? That which we call a rose, by any other name, would smell just as sweet. I hope you all agree with Shakespeare's Juliet that roses are splendid, no matter what one chooses to call them. Our tradition shares Juliet's admiration of roses. In the Song of Songs, the female narrator describes herself as a rose of Sharon, a lily of the valleys. These expressions refer both to her physical beauty and her openness to romantic love. Tonight, every person who attended our services in person received a rose in honor of Tu B'Av, the 15th of Av, which fell on Wednesday this week. Tu B'Av is known in modern Israel as Hag HaAchava, a day or a festival of love. Unsurprisingly, Israelis prefer to celebrate their love on a day that, unlike February 14th, is not named after a Christian saint. But why was the 15th of Av chosen as Israel's love fest? Tractate Ta'anit of the Babylonian Talmud teaches us that on this day, young unmarried Jewish women danced together in vineyards. Unmarried men, in turn, came there to see what bachelorettes were available in the community. Attendance of Tu B'Av dances was viewed as an effective way of finding a wife. In turn, the girls were supposed to highlight the advantages of marrying them to their potential suitors. It might have been as stressful as they had to compete for male attention. On the flip side, on this day, the bachelorettes, and not matchmakers hired by their families, got to decide which suitors were worth their wooing efforts. Summer parties, wine, dancing. It sounds like the setting where many love stories start until now. At the same time, the expectation that one should be able to find a life partner within one day must have been overwhelming for many. After all, even today, when the societal pressure is lower, single and mingle events can be daunting. It is not easy to sell oneself when the competition is fierce. Tu B'Av reminds us that looking for a life partner has always been a journey of both excitement and anxiety, a game where our personal happiness is at stake. This game seems harder today when popular culture expects all lovers to be young, beautiful, and successful. Modern love seekers don't compete with other dancers in the vineyard. Instead, their online dating profiles need to stand out among thousands of others. Only then they will get a swipe right, a sign of finding a match. Study of ancient Tu B'Av traditions can offer consolation to would-be lovers disheartened by the competitive world of courtship. On Tu B'Av, it was customary for all unmarried women to wear identical white robes. Moreover, more affluent bachelorettes were expected to lend robes they owned to those too poor to afford one. Such practice ensured that even the poorest girls were given a chance to meet a potential spouse. Talmudic sages were aware that dressing every bachelorette alike did not create a level playing field. They knew that some of them would be more popular than others. Having said that, they strongly believed that every person, no matter their physical appearance, deserves a companion that appreciates their value. For that reason, Talmudic sages advise to less popular girls, let's call it this way, was to tell their suitors that, once married, they expected to be treated like the belles of the ball. No spouse was to be viewed as a consolation prize. As you can see, Tu B'Av was not about just ogling girls who are dancing in vineyards. In a patriarchal and regimented society, it offered young people an opportunity to meet and mingle more freely than usual. No wonder it was considered to be the happiest day of the year. Today, it teaches us valuable lessons about the ethics of dating. Tu B'Av can surely be nice if we are in a relationship or hope to be in one. But what about those among us who aren't? Those who still mourn the loss of their partner, heal from a painful divorce, or are simply asexual? Is there a way to relate to Tu B'Av if we belong to one or more of these groups? Tractate Ta'anit mentions two reasons for marking Tu B'Av that can make it more palatable to those of us who are not at the moment romantically inclined. Sages stated that Tu B'Av was a day on which Jewish tribes were permitted to marry each other, which was not possible when they first entered the land of Israel. They also stated that on that day, the tribe of Benjamin, previously ostracized by the rest of the tribes, was accepted back by the rest of the Jewish people. These stories show us that there is more to the Jewish day of love than chocolates, roses, and romantic dinners. Tu B'Av teaches us that the world is filled with love, when we are open to welcoming those different from us into our families. When we celebrate communal diversity, when we reconcile with estranged family and community members. Modern word for a rose, Juliet's metaphor for Romeo's love is Shoshana. However, in ancient Hebrew, this word meant something else, a lily. This Shabbat, as you enjoy your roses, may we all remember that love, like Shoshana, can take many shapes, meanings, and forms. Shabbat Shalom. And from love, we come to our beloved community, which is buzzing with life and often love. So the time has come for announcements.
Better? Thank you. Yeah, so thank you, Rabbi. That was a really wonderful Devar Torah. So every Saturday, we have our Torah study at 9, and we have our services at 10. And after services, thanks to the Weitzmans and their volunteers, we have delicious meals being served. Come break some bread or break some challah with us on Saturdays. It's a way of getting involved with your community. Our family picnic's coming up this weekend, on the 5th at 3:30 to 7:30 at Chapman Park. It is actually, consult your tidbits, but it's local, so it's easy to go to. It's 2515 San Carlos Drive in Fullerton, for those who need a GPS like I do for everything, much to the consternation of my wife. We have a big open house coming on the 7th, where we invite people to come for several hours from 4 to 7. It's a Sunday. There'll be a barbecue and an opportunity to showcase our temple to prospective members and to current members who haven't been here for a while to see what the new spirit is at the temple. We also have coming up towards the end of the month the Fantasy Fusion Follies from the Hilltop Players. On the 26th and 27th, there'll be two performances on Sunday, I believe, on matinee and an evening. We'd like you to buy tickets. We also need more sponsors because we're coming up short on budget. So I may be calling some of the usual suspects to help us put together some extra money for that, because we want to see that continue even though the budget's not there to keep it going. And beyond that, is there anything that I'm leaving out? Gabby? No? Rabbi? Miriam? Okay. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And as we celebrate this Shabbat post Tu B'Av, we are aware of our responsibility to share love in the world, to spread love in the world. This responsibility is enshrined in the words of Aleinu, our next prayer on page 586. Please stand in body or spirit.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gerula liyotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adam, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechamonam, va'anachnu korim ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
On Shabbat, as we enjoy rest, we think of those who we loved and still love, who have come to enjoy their eternal rest. In the period of Shloshim, we think of Martin Dernbach, son of Peter Dernbach. We also mark the yortzites of Chaim Chaimov, Joy Kaiser, Levi Joseph, Marge Shane, Leonid Zhmodiak, Handel Sandowski, Ralph Weinstock, and Doris Kaplan. If you have any other names of your loved ones, family members, or friends that you would like to remember today, please mention their names aloud or add them on Zoom.
Marty Cole and Larry Jacobs.
Loretta Goldman, it's my mother, who was actually born on this day, but she
Have we got any names on Zoom?
First year of mourning for Natalie Rubin.
Realizing that we are a community of those who mourn and those who remember love that they received, those who perpetuate this love in this world. Please stand together in body or spirit as we say Kaddish together on page 598 in solidarity with all those who mourn and who remember. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יחי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ותדר ויתעלה ויתחלל שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יחשלם הרבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל העולם ואמרו אמן. We conclude our service with the words of Kiddush, and Kiddush can be found on page. I never find Kiddush.
122.
122. So if you, thank you. If you are close to your kitchen, those of us who join us online, now is the time to run to your kitchen and get a cup of wine or grape juice as we distribute wine and grape juice in the sanctuary.
Did you want me to do it? Thank you.
And while we distribute wine, we must mention, or grape juice, we must mention one more occasion for us, for everyone here at TBT to celebrate, which is Lila's birthday once again. So once again, Mazel Tov, Lila.
Yom Huledet Sameach.
Yom Huledet Sameach.
Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yay, happy birthday, Lila!
Happy birthday to Lila.
When you're doing what you love, you aren't really working. That's true. And Lila loves this, so.
Lila, come on, join us for Kiddush.
Yeah.
Why don't you send
Vayerev vayivoker yom hashishi, vayechulu hashemayim v'ha'aretz bechol tzva'am, vayechal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa, vayishbot bayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa, vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i vayekadesh oto, ki vo shavat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziyat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'chata, ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim. V'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uveratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat l'chaim.
Yeah, I'll take it. You know how old I am? Very old. Yeah, very old. I'm 88,
You're old enough.
old enough. You just gotta keep it.
Shabbat Shalom. Please
just
join us
gotta-
tomorrow.
Lila's sage words of advice for living a long and healthy life, what were they?
Just keep it going.
You just gotta keep it going. She knows. Absolutely. Ma? That's it. I think Rabbi Mati did that for my sake. Shabbat Shalom, friends on Zoom. Hi. Oh, good. You can hear me. Okay. And then hopefully I will be able to hear you all very soon. It's a short answer, no. Be okay with me not giving 110%. Awesome. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I can't. Mayos, can I hear everybody on the Zooms, please? Thank you, Andrew. Yes. Yay! I can hear you. Yay!
Okay,
Hi.
you're, as always, you're wonderful, but something is not quite right tonight. What's hurting you?
What's up? What? Sorry?
Something's not quite right with you tonight. What is hurting you?
Thankfully I'm not in pain today, but it's a major fatigue time. I've been since I think Sunday, I've been fighting the summer bug that's been going around. And when I'm sick, thankfully I didn't have a lot of the classic symptoms. I wasn't coughing a lot. I wasn't there was not a lot of sinus affected, but my body fighting something has shown up as major fatigue. So I'm using my my stool, and I'm trying to take it a little easy and not push too hard, but still, celebrate Shabbat with everybody. So
It never affected your performance, but I could tell there was something not quite right.
I appreciate you asking and everybody being so understanding. I'm moving a little bit slower right now. Just I'm reminding myself that it's okay not to push. It's okay to take my time. So yeah, I was moving around just a little bit more slowly, but yeah.
You know to give yourself the time.
It's been a struggle to listen to my body, but I'm learning, and our bodies don't really, give us unlimited chances to learn. So I'm trying to be really quick on the response time, so that hopefully I'll be more okay in the long run. So yeah. Oh. That's okay. I moved a little too fast. my normal little like gestures, my little like movements are even too much right now. I just felt that in my head. So
Well, why don't you say goodnight to us and take care of yourself?
I appreciate that so much. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So I can be with you all tomorrow. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And I will see you tomorrow. Shabbat Shalom, Tony. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom, everybody.
Shalom.
Thank you.
You get some rest tonight. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon.
I will see you then.
Is it a 1-hour rehearsal?
If even, it starts at 12:15. I'm hoping it'll end around 1. It's going to be kind of like the first day of classes where it's like, syllabus day where we go through, like what we're going to be doing, which services we're going to be at, go over, make sure everybody has the lineups for the services, make sure everybody has the materials, and we'll run through probably like a couple things just to like refresh our memory of how High Holy Day things go. So yeah. So it'll be nice. And Tony, yes, you have a question. What's up?
He wants to know if we'll be putting the books in order.
What do you mean if we're putting the books in order?
The notebooks and the music in order. But we should already have them in order.
It should already be in order. It should already be in order. Those are the binders you've used previously. So
Okay, no, not Tony.
Well, Esther, if you believe yours is in order, you can have him double.
I think they are, yes.
Yeah, then you can have him, if it'll make him feel better, then you can have him just double check.
Last year.
Okay.
Now, both holiday books, is that correct?
Yes, bring both holiday books. Kol Tikvah is participating in 3 High Holy Day services. Rosh Hashanah morning. Yom Kippur morning, and also Kol Nidre service. Those 3 services, okay? So it should be a bit easier to manage. But yeah. We'll go over all of those things tomorrow. Okay?
No.
Okay.
Sorry to take up your time, ladies, with business.
That's
We
okay.
start the high holiday rehearsals tomorrow.
Yep. They're coming, whether I want them to or not.
Do we want them to? Yay!
No, it'll be wonderful. I just need to take care of myself, as we should all. So, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you so much.
Shabbat Shalom. You go
Shalom.
home and drive safely
Will do.
and rest.